Women wouldn't hate and disregard men the way they do if manhood was defined with your riches. And if men actually had the capacity to perceive and actually feel the subtle language of the woman. Now you the man with your big muscles and your fancy car, because some of you do have that, right? So now you have a feeling that now she's quote unquote submissive to you. Now, if you had the capacity to perceive a little deeper, you would realize, no, there's another level of game that's happening and you're just oblivious to it because you don't understand women. You think you do because you read a book that explained to you the basic psychology of women. Of course, a book written by a man who doesn't really understand the underworld and the realm of women. Anyways, I'm taking a lot of threads, putting them together. Call me the weaver. But at the end of the day, clearly there's something that's going on that is, I don't want to say sad, but very sad. And men are on this side, they're doing what they can with what they know, and the women are on their side doing what they can with what they know. Everybody has to survive. The times are hard as fuck. The situation in the world is every day getting more gloomy, more hard, more difficult, more depressive. And people are in more and more scarcity, financial scarcity, energetic scarcity, emotional scarcity, psychological scarcity. There's just people are in the debt that we attribute to the government with its fake money. Human beings have the same debt. They're indebted energetically so high, so much, and people don't know what to do, so people try the best they can. I don't want to disrespect people's attempts. Everybody do the best they can with what they have. But if you're intelligent and you understand what I'm saying, and you have the capacity to zoom out for a moment and kind of look at the scene and see, well, something doesn't make sense. I'm like, yeah, something doesn't make any sense, which means there must be a solution. The solution has to be something else. So I spoke about it through the process. I said, listen, you don't know who you are. And I'm not a spiritual dude. I can be a spiritual dude if you'd like. I could give you a namaste as much as you like all day. I could chant the Om if it makes you feel vibrational, whatever makes you happy. I'm not that dude, I don't care. I'm talking about, this is practical for me. Getting to know who I am is a practical thing. It's just like going to the gym, lifting weights. You better know who the fuck you are, because if you don't, you're screwed. You're screwed from so many angles you can't even imagine. Then on top of that, you don't know where to focus your energy and how to develop yourself, and you don't know what kind of woman fits with you. And when you engage with such a woman, you don't know how to be in relation to her or exchange with her or dance with her because you're trying to dance on another beat that's not yours. And you're going to, obviously, because you're confused, try to pick a girl who's made to dance on house songs. But maybe you're not at the house, maybe that's not your sound. Well, so why are you trying to check the girl who's a house girl? You're confused. Now you have to accelerate your rhythm and try to be some guy you're not. Then you're going to have to take some kind of drugs to, right? So that you can be that dude. It's not for you, bro. Go somewhere else. It's not for you. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's not being the man. So again, these are my humble opinions, and I'm touching a lot of notes at the same time. Those of you who are listening, thank you for hearing me out. I hope you can feel what I'm really trying to say. Honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I don't want to disrespect nobody. Everybody does what they got to do. I'm talking to you from my point of view, from my experience. I'm like, this doesn't work. If having big muscles, which I had, is going to make me the man, and I get them, and it doesn't change, fuck all, that means it's not the right path. It's a dead end. Change, don't continue. Don't get bigger muscles. Find the solution. If you have 6 figures, do you think you need 20,000 million figures to be, like, it's not a solution. I didn't say you can't have muscles and money. I'm saying that's not the path. That's not going to bring fulfillment. And that's not going to make you have the deep connection with the woman that you really genuinely want from the bottom of your being. Not only that you want, dare I say, that you need. Without which, what's the fucking point? If we were all made to be monks, great. There would be no women and we'd all be monks. We'd be genderless and we'd all be monks and everybody would just be in themselves and being full of themselves. Great, amazing. I have no problem with that. But the moment you step out of that space of monkhood, right? This is a hypothetical space, and now you're a man. Well, man means woman. It comes together like day comes with night. So what's my relation to her? There has to be a link. And without it, without her, what's the point? This is not being weak. This is not being beta. This is not, yeah, you could be a sucker and a loser. I agree. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm trying to talk from a bigger perspective. And I'm sure that you're intelligent enough to understand what I'm saying. What's the point? What's the point? So what we have receive in the new masculine teachings is like, you're the man, you do your own things, and the more you do your things, I totally understand what you're saying. You do, because a man should do his own things and he has his own mission. I'm like, so what's your mission? Make more money and have more cars and more toys and bigger muscles so that you can impress other men and pick up more girls. It's always based on girls, secretly, or not so secret. It's all, but what's the point? What's the point? So that you can have pleasure? Or you can have what you call joy, but these things are empty, they're meaningless. If you need to have 16 cars and you need 20 now, that means the car is not working, it's not giving it to you. What you're looking for, it's like, car, drugs, pussy, and let's compare them to having a drug, taking drugs. So if you've ever taken drugs, you know how it is. You start with a little bit of weed, smoke a little 0.5, you're high as fuck. A couple of weeks from now, if you're consistent with your craft and you smoke your weed slowly but surely, next thing you know, you're smoking 2 joints and you're good. And you need more and more and more. What does that mean? And it's not fulfilling you. That means you're on a drug. So if I need to have 10 million, 20 million, 100 million, 1700 millions, which means what? What you're looking for in the money, it's not providing to you. Now you need 15 cars, 20 cars, 50 cars, a bigger house. Does it work? It's not working. That means you're giving too much of yourself to these things, looking in the wrong avenue. I didn't say you can't have those things. Let's be clear, because I know some people how they think. I didn't say that. I'm saying if it doesn't fulfill you, what's the point? Why can't you be honest enough with yourself and realize, you know what I'm really looking for? Connection. Connection with myself. In my because all you're trying to do as a man is get laid. Are you really trying to get laid, or are you trying to find a connection? You don't know anymore, because you don't know, you understand your system. You have this like hormonal thing that moves in you because you're like a high alpha male with a lot of testosterone, because you're like, take care of you go to the gym and you take, of course, herbs, and you're that guy, right? And then you're like, I just want to, right? You're the man, right? Yeah, sure you are. Okay, so, but what are you really looking for? Why is it that you need to have 1 million girls? It's not working because it doesn't fulfill you. It's empty. That's being a man. Be honest. That's being the man. Be honest. It's not working. So if it's not working, you got to review your things. There's no connection. So we come back to this. Everybody's looking for a connection. And third, I said connection with self, connection with the woman, a connection. I'm not saying hippie shit. Do I look like a fucking hippie? Like Bob, do I look like a hippie? No. I don't look like a hippie. I don't think I look like a hippie. I don't have long, fancy hair. I'm not, do I look like a hippie? Like really? I don't think I look like a hippie. So that we can put this aside, thank God we can put this aside, okay? I'm not a hippie. So I'm not talking about hippie shit. I'm not into hippiness. I don't like hippiness. I'm disgusted by hippiness. God bless the hippies. I ain't got nothing against the hippie, but we understand each other. I just had to do a hippie rant. I'm not talking about the hippie stuff. But we got to say this to men, because the moment you talk to men about love or connection, they're like, this is hippie shit. I'm like, what? What the fuck are you talking about? This is hippie shit. This is basic human need. Connect. It's to have an experience that's profound. Do you understand the word profound? Profound. That means it touches you deep. It doesn't just touch you at the surface. It doesn't just touch you at your scrotum. It doesn't just touch you at your big muscles because you're the man. No, it touches you deep inside yourself. I don't want to say the word heart, and I certainly won't say the word soul, but it touches you deep inside, and that you can meet another person at that level of depth. That's what you're really looking for when you're going randomly banging all these chicks like a moron. Have a little bit of self-respect. You just called her a hoe when you go bang her. What does that make you? You fucking moron. Anyways, I'm sidetracking. So what I'm trying to say is that number one, we're looking for a connection with ourselves, which is now attributed to hippieism or spirituality. I'm looking for a deep connection with myself. Let's go to Peru. Unfortunately, I can't leave Canada without a vaccine passport to go to Peru to take an ayahuasca journey for $5,000. So no connection with myself, unfortunately. Maybe I could just settle for mushrooms. I can microdose them. So it's a spiritual thing. I'm like, this is not a spiritual thing. You can call it spiritual if it makes you happy. This is a basic human experience, a connection with myself. Who am I? To feel myself. When you feel sad, I feel sad. If you feel upset, you feel upset. If you feel strong, you feel strong. And what's at the deeper layers? We can't just live here at the crust of reality forever, for eternity. And we have full control here, ladies and gentlemen. Let there be lights. Turn off the light. Turn on the microwave. Turn it off. I have full control. I know exactly how a girl works. It's a formula. The woman, you set frame. Maintain frame at all times. Now you're the man. And now look at her how she submits to your frame because you're the man. That's you. That's your like surface folks. This is what I call you, surface folks. Like you live on the crust of reality and you think you figured it all out. I'm sorry, I didn't want to get nasty. I'm getting a little nasty. I apologize. I'm gonna go back to my namaste stuff, all right? What I'm trying to say is that when we speak about connection, this is not hippie. This is a basic human need that everyone is looking for. And you have to come to terms with the fact that you're having a hard time to find it. You're having a hard time to find it with yourself. You're for sure having a hard time to find it with the woman. Maybe you've been lucky and you had like these little sparks and a spark of moment and this panic. She panics, you panic, everybody panics, and it's a mess. And that's if you're lucky. And in the connection with, dare I say, I'm never going to say the word universe. No, I said a connection with life. Because we are human beings, we live on this plane called Earth. I'm not talking about a flat Earth. I'm talking about the plane of consciousness here. This plane, Earth, that is part of something grander that you can call the universe, the cosmos. I'm not in the mood to pick a name right now. You're clearly part of something, and all of that is alive. And what the hell is my connection to all of this? Well, man, that's like fly, man. Or like suddenly you have to be a big omer to like talk about those things. Like, no, dude, man, just look up for a minute and like you're in the middle of nowhere. Think about it. So clearly, we need a connection to something greater than ourselves, and that connection cannot be in your figment of your imagination because you want to believe in astrology. I've got nothing against astrology. I'm saying that's not connection. It's not through the mind connection. It's through the heart. No, I take that one back. It's for fun. So, well, I know what's going around in the masculine world, and I know what's going on in the feminine world. Let's remove hippies. Well, ain't nobody want to talk about those things because that puts you in a vulnerable place. I'm not talking about weak. When people hear the word vulnerable, they say weak. Weakness is weakness. Vulnerability means you can feel, you can be honest with yourself. You can explore the experience of yourself and what you're going through without you're like fucking robot brain trying to like control everything and tell you how it should be and shouldn't be and that. You can just be honest with yourself and feel yourself. It feels really good, to be honest with you. I meditate every day. I love meditation. God bless meditation. I couldn't live without my meditation, but I couldn't. And that's the place where I connect to myself. And that's the place where I feel myself. And I need that connection. Otherwise, I start to become numb. I become numb to myself. I become numb to the world around me. I become numb to what I'm perceiving. And my mind starts to kick in and I become more robotic. That's not a life. That's not manhood, being a robot. Or hard. If that's the case, then I'm not. First of all, I'm not the man. We've already covered that from the start. So we have no problem with this. And if that's manhood, fuck manhood. Keep it for yourself. I'm not impressed. Let's put it this way. Again, I don't mean this disrespect to anybody. I've studied people who are great, who have achieved greatness in this world since I'm a kid. I love people who achieve greatness. I love it from the bottom of my being. I love people who achieve greatness. It doesn't matter which field. And I spend my whole youth until this day, I study people who are great. So I'm not talking about that level. I'm saying there's got to be something else. Because if that worked, we wouldn't be in the situation that we are in. In a full-fledged war. I'm not talking about the COVID war. I'm talking about the war between man and woman. I call it the unholy war. That's what I call it. And I'm not saying holy, H-O-L-Y. I'm talking about unholy, W-H-O, maybe two L's and a Y, unwhole, E. Because man and woman come together to become whole. Which doesn't mean that a man is not a man and a man doesn't have his own purpose and mission. I didn't say that. I said, what's the point if it doesn't involve her? Because we're here to co-create something for the benefit of all. You tell me one dude who speaks like this. So it's rare. Well, that's a fucking problem. If people aren't talking about their basic, why is man and woman supposed to come together? You're supposed to fuck and have children. I'm like, are you an animal? Yeah, that's the basic. Agreed. But why are you having children? To procreate and to perpetuate the race. Oh, so you're an animal. I understand. Great. So I can't talk to an animal. I pet the animal. So let me pet you, bro. Don't bite now. These are simple things, and if you give me the opportunity and you hear what I'm saying, you understand what I'm really trying to say. I'm trying to point at the obvious. I'm trying to point at something that few people want to talk about because it makes everybody feel uncomfortable. There's a disease, there's a problem. So this problem is not women. And it's not men, it's human beings. Men have their share of the problem. Women have their share of the problem. And if we're talking amongst men right now, and you the man, and men are the problem solver of the two sexes, that means you should understand the problem. I'm not saying women cannot understand the problem. I didn't say that at all. I said, you the man who's so proud of your manhood and knows that a man is the one who solves problems. Congratulations, we know that the man, the masculine, the male, is the one who has a tendency to solve the problems. I think we can agree on this. Well, then you should understand the problem, shouldn't you? Well, from the looks of things, people are having a hard time to understand the problem. And rightfully so, because the problem goes so deep, it takes you right back to the genesis of life. That means the beginning. We're not going to get into this today, but this is not a simple problem to understand. It's deep. And people hate deep. They're scared of the darkness of the deep. Aren't you? So let's go back to the crust, at the surface of reality, where you have everything figured out. I have my schedule. I follow my schedule. And I just work hard. And I got it all under control. Listen, if it works for you, really all the best. For those of you who understand what I'm saying, because you have depth, your depth is your opportunity, but you have to dive into it and become a master of swimmer. You have to master swimming into that depth to put the pieces together so that you can see and understand, understand what's actually happening. Because indeed, as a man, you have a function in the dance between the man and the woman. And if you don't genuinely understand the situation, genuinely understand the problem that's going on earth and with the sex and sexuality, I'm not talking about just because modern feminism, I'm like, this is surface stuff. I know it. You can know it. It's fine. I'm telling you, this goes back to the genesis of life. So it goes much deeper than crust stuff. And if you start to understand that stuff, then eventually in your interactions with women, you can first of all, you have an actual understanding of the situation. She's in pain. Now, she can be an asshole, given. She can be a bitch, absolutely given. She can be a succubus. That means she's going to suck you dry if you give it a chance. In fact, even if she don't give you the chance, she may suck. I'm not saying no to all of that. It's not the point. She's in suffering. Suffering is called dis-ease. If you don't understand that, then who will? And if you don't know how to solve that problem, now it's almost a sin to say that you should solve a problem, especially solve the problem of a woman. I didn't say that, but I kind of am, but I'm not. I'm saying if you don't understand her situation, you don't understand her suffering, then what kind of man are you really? If you're the problem solver, or you can solve the problem, she wants a dress and you go buy the dress, or she's got a niche somewhere in her uterus, so you're gonna bang that shit out of her. You're the man, great, I'm happy you can do that. What about an actual deep problem? And if you think women are stupid, they look stupid most of the time, I have to say, I agree. They paint their faces and they look like little dolls with their fake hair and their fake nails and their fake everything, fake boobs, fine, given. I'm telling you, beneath the facade, because they're playing a game, it's called a masquerade. They're playing a game to fool you because you're a fucking moron that masturbates on porn. Underneath that facade, and your little shallow understanding thinking that a woman is like a man and thinks that she thinks like you, there's a whole vast universe that is your responsibility to discover and know so that you can understand where she is and you can technically reach her. Now you think you make it reach her because you bang the fucking shit out of her? Again, congratulations. There's more to it than that. Really, it's time that you broaden your horizons and start to understand things at a deeper level than porn. Okay? There's more to being a man and a man-woman relationship than here. There's more. There has to be. Because if it's not, it fucking sucks. So what's the point? I'm out. If what we see is what human relationships are with women, if that's what it is, if that's what it's about, two people trying to con each other, if that's what it is, I don't want to play. I'm out. This is not interesting. I'm out. And then I look at society and I look at this fucking madness. Fuck it. I'm out too. I want none of it. None of it. I'm out. I'm out. I'm going to be a monk. I'm going to settle myself into a mountain and pretend to meditate, and that'll be that. There has to be more to it than that. I know that you understand. If you're listening to this, you must understand. You feel it somewhere inside your heart. You feel it deep inside your balls. There has to be more to it than this, because if it's not, then something's fucked up in the design. If what we see is what it is, let's burn it. No, I'm telling you, there's more to it than that. I've gone through the journey myself, and I'm continuing my journey. It is so vast and grand, and it is the most beautiful journey I've ever undertaken. And would it be like the journey of manhood? It is, but my journey of manhood is my journey of discovering the goddess. Go figure. Go figure. You think I signed up for this? I'm going to go worship a goddess. Oh yeah, no. No, I want to be the man. I want to be just like you. I wanted to be the man, bang the fucking shit out of the girl and whatnot. When I figured out that this is nonsense, it doesn't work, and that the nature of the relationship that I have with women is like, you can't trust a woman. And I'm not saying you're wrong to feel this way. By the way, I want this to be super understood. I'm not saying you're wrong to feel this way because she's become untrustworthy. It's a symptom of a disease. It's not her nature. And I'm not saying that a woman is not a woman. I'm just saying it's not a nature to behave this way. This is a symptom of a disease. And that's affecting you a lot. So once you realize that this doesn't make any sense, there must be something else. So if you want to learn, you want to discover what manhood is about, it comes hand in hand with understanding the divine feminine, dare I say. I'm so sorry, it almost sounds like a hippie, but I promise you, really, I think I don't look the part. I'm not a hippie. God bless the hippies. I insist on that because these words have been hacked, stolen by the hippies. You can't say the word divine feminine or any of these words without it being, it's unfortunate. It's like that. Just like you can't say the word yoga without you thinking of some kind of person stretching and looking like a moron. Everything's stolen. This is unfortunate. It's called word hacking. People steal words and put in it a different definition, and that's it. It's like an anti-vaxxer. Dun, dun, dun. It's over for you. So what I'm trying to say is that the journey towards manhood, it comes hand in hand with the discovery of the goddess energy. What the goddess energy is, most likely you don't know what it is, or you have an idea. I assure you, it is so much vaster than that. And it ain't got nothing to do with denying manhood and worshiping female. I didn't say that. It's discovering power. Manpower, the masculine power that the nature and the God has given you, and the goddess power, the female power, the womb power, and what that energy is, what it can do, and how these energies come together, and what for. Otherwise, look at the world we live in. You thought I was going to stop. I'm almost done. Well, look at the world we live in. We have men living at the surface and women trying to pretend to be men. Trying to compete with psychopathic men, both pretending to be men. That's not manhood. With all due respect, we see certain traits of manhood appear, for sure. Of course, enough respect to all of that. But that's not manhood. If you really observe it, it's like, this is a slave, bro. This is a gladiator. I don't understand. How is a slave a man? How is a slave free? I don't understand. And now we see women trying to compete and beat men at that game, pretending that that's man's game. That's not man's game. That's the zoo's game. Yeah, okay. So that's what I got to say for now on this little flow. Please take this in consideration, and if it makes sense to you, like and subscribe. You didn't see that one coming, eh? All right.